Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be looking at HBAR. Before we jump into the price action, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you are enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and why not leave us feedback down below in the comment section. Also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check this out. It is free to join. We have a lot of stuff happening this week, so come check it out. Okay, so let's get into the fun stuff here. So basically with HBAR, we were looking for the possibility of this fifth wave move to the upside here, and we have for the most part come up into this zone. So there is a couple of ways that we are currently looking at this. So we're going to go over them, and there is a potential we could be completed in here, and we could actually be starting a deeper decline. Alternatively, for as long as we hold some of these lows, like this 0678 and this low here, this 0622, we do have potential to actually push up for another leg here. So we're going to discuss all these things in the video, so make sure you stay tuned to see all the different options that we're talking about. So effectively, what we're talking about here, I'm just going to flip this off for a second, and what we're going to be talking about is the possibility that we could be looking for a bigger corrective move, and what we'd be looking for is a couple of things. So because of the way this move is declining here, we can choose to do this in two ways. We can potentially look at this as a 1-2, potentially another 1-2, or alternatively, this could just be an ABC, in which case this does lead up to that idea of us potentially having a flat correction here. So we just need to be careful within this structure. If we do develop a 5-wave move to the downside here, it is possible we could look at this whole area here as a flat. Alternatively, what we could be looking at is an extension. So within this structure here, what we'd be wanting to see. So we were talking about just looking at this as a 5-wave move here, and for the most part, it hasn't actually come down yet. So we'll discuss that separately. But basically, if we do move down below this 0794, it would be more likely that actually what we have here is a move that is becoming that if it is going to be an impulse, it has to be a 1-2 again here. And that would be looking for a bigger move to the upside. So this would be a substantial move to the upside here. I don't have the line on here, so let me just measure this off again. But effectively, what we'd be looking at is from that low point up into this high. Let me get right on this. I missed it. There we go, up into there. And off this current zone, a 1618 would actually bring us up here to this 1465. It is, however, possible that we could look to move down within this zone here, and it is also possible that this could become more of a complex move where we actually look to come down here, form an A B wave to the upside again, and then actually look to push down lower. So for as long as we hold this 676, this zone here could offer us support, and we could look for further extension to the upside. The confirmation would only really come by moving above this 1465. So this would be looking for a much more substantial move out of this low point here. And effectively that would then look to push us up to this zone as a typical wave 3. We don't have any indication of this, and we need to be careful because we do have that bearish potential where we could still be looking for a bigger 5-wave move to the downside. But for as long as we hold this zone, there is some kind of potential for some upside here. Okay, so this is the most bullish option. It's not very likely in my opinion, but I have marked it up just for the fact that if we do hold the support zone and we start to see some more impulsive moves to the upside here, this could be one of the possibilities. So the main way we were looking at it yesterday was looking actually for the fact that we could have had some further extension here. We have actually moved down and invalidated some of the structure, and basically what we'd have to do is treat this. This is the only way it could still be viable. The problem is this would become invalidated by actually moving down past this 0794. If we move past this 0794, effectively that would invalidate our potential for this fifth wave to the upside. So this fifth wave to the upside would actually be looking to target up into this zone of 11 cents to this 1039 if it maintains. But we are starting to reject further here, so we're going to go over that. I do think we are going to invalidate this and potentially look to actually break down deeper. So we're going to go over that structure in a second. But if we do manage to hold it, then we could look for this potential to start a 5-wave move. Once again, I don't really like the structure because we've come down so deep with this wave 4. It hasn't invalidated yet, but it is more than likely going to. Breaking down past the point of this wave 2 here, the 0667, would completely invalidate any kind of a potential for having an impulsive structure here. And then finally, confirmation would come by actually breaking down below the 0.622. That would be sort of final confirmation that nothing within here can be looking to extend to the upside. Okay, so that's basically what we're looking for here. This move to the downside, I do think it is likely we're going to invalidate, but if we don't, it is possible we could see this push to the upside, but we are starting to move down more impulsively here, so we'll have to see if the support range holds. So the other way we were talking about this is starting to break down. And what we're looking for is the fact that we could look at this move like this, where actually we look at this basically as an A into this high point here, and then this whole move here just becomes a corrective structure. So if this was the case, we were talking about this yesterday, potentially looking to form a 5-wave move. And for the most part, we could still be in this wave one. We're going to go through the subdivisions of this and the different ways we can look at it. But if we did move back to the upside here, we'd have to be careful around this zone here, this 0942 to this 086, 0886. If we only form three-wave structure up here, effectively from this zone, that would actually look to potentially turn into a bigger 5-wave move to the downside. And depending on how high we went, would actually look to basically look to validate this only by crossing further down here. If we look at this current area, so 1.618 would actually be much lower here at this 0.640. So this would be quite a substantial drop. By the time we start to break down this deep, we would have to argue that we were within that fifth wave just because of the size of the structure, but we'd have to wait for that confirmation of that fourth and that fifth. If we do form a biggest 5-wave structure like this, either, like I said, either we could be breaking down for that potential of still having a wave 5 to the downside, or alternatively, this could then become the C wave here. And if we do have something like this, we could see that this could potentially bring us back into this 50% zone, all the way down to this 786. So this green box area lower down here. So this is a supports area for a B wave. And if we're looking at this as potentially an A wave actually completed here, this is all corrective. We could then look for a bigger move to the upside here after having this sell off to the downside. And what this would be looking at is the actual potential. If I can get onto this low, up into this high, and then if we just drop that there for now, we drag this across and throw this on this 50%. A 1-to-1 to the upside could actually potentially take us back up to this zone here of this 1115. So there is some potential to move to create a corrective structure like this, but we would need the confirmation within the wave structure itself. Like I said as well, if we do form a 5-wave structure to the downside here, we need to be very careful that we haven't just completed a corrective move into this area, and that we actually could be starting this 5-wave move where this becomes a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We look for this 3-wave retracement up, get rejected again, and look to break down. So we just need to keep a little bit of an eye out on this move. If it starts to get too deep here, it could be indicating that we have something like that going on. So we're going to go into the subwave count of this now and have a couple of discussions about what we can see here. So let me just turn on that. So the way I'm currently looking at this is that we could still potentially be extending out within these structures. So we can argue that this is just an A, a B, and then potentially we are looking to form the C wave here. But if we do actually manage to pass down below the 0.749, it is possible that we could get an additional fourth and fifth within the structure. And basically what we're looking at here is we can see that this would be a 1, 2, this would be a third wave. We're looking for this fourth. So this fourth could technically complete here, which would then actually make this target down here, the 0.786 to the 0.770. If we do push down into this zone, it would be interesting to see whether this does extend out slightly and we manage to cross down the 0.749. If we do push back down into this area, what we'd have to then be on the lookout for is the potential that we could have this extending out, where this actually um, becomes a wave 3 here, and not just an A, a B, and a C. And then we could actually look to complete an additional fifth wave to the downside. If we did move down to this 1618 line here at this 0.749, The target zone that we could be looking for, provided we find an additional fourth wave in this zone, indicated here, this 0821 to this 0781 area, would be down here at this 0736 to this 0717. So, this is something that can play out where we actually get this extension down here. We managed to cross this 0749, then we get these additional legs here. So it's going to be very important what happens after this point. Whether we just get this single drop down here, or whether we get this deeper drop down here, we just need to be careful of rejection back to the upside if we do break down. And if we throw it into that zone, 50% off of the middle of this green box area would be this 0875, and then the higher range would be here, this 0938. That's really as high as we'd want to go as it be. So what we're looking out for here is the potential that with this move to the downside, like I said, this can potentially extend out a little bit more. There is a little bit, the wave structure is not 100% great yet, so it is that could mean that potentially we could look at this as a 1-2, then we could get an additional 1. This could all become a 1-2 again, and then we could actually break down. We want to see a more substantial corrective structure to work off of, and then we can sort of get a better idea, because what we want to be looking for is the completion of this extension to the downside here. We want to see this retracement, see how we react. If we get a rejection of this 50%, to the 786, then effectively it's something that we can look for the potential to actually extend to the downside again. And basically, if this is a completed move up, what I would be looking for is that deeper retracement towards this zone here. Another interesting area would be potentially if we're looking at it as a flat correction. What would also be potentially an interesting zone would actually be that 0.382 zone. And if I just can get it on here, there we go. This 0593. So that would also be a potentially interesting area as a 0.382 retracement, because sometimes flats will only travel towards this. So if we do get a flat correction in this space, it might not be able to get all the way down to the 618 or the 786. It might sort of get down here between this 382 to this 0.5. So that could be something that we just need to keep an eye out if we do have this breaking down here. But I am anticipating this move back down. It'll be interesting to see, because we could potentially look to challenge this channel line and then look to actually push back up. So that's just something that is a possibility. We need to just give it some space and see how that reacts. The ideal thing we want to see is that retracement back up. If we fail to break back above this high point, and we actually start to lose those bullish zones, the bottom of this move, this 0677, and then finally this 0622, it would be indicating to me that we're getting a much deeper breakdown here. But hopefully over time we'll get some better structure developing here. We haven't still come down past that 0794. So it is still possible that we could still potentially look to push up, but we are right in this fourth wave rejection area. And even if we did move up, what we'd have to be careful of is that we don't get a move like this where we come back down into this range and we push back up one more time for a extension, and then we get this fourth wave just being a bit more complex and looking to push up towards this 0837. So this is a key area. Moving back above this 0859 would invalidate the circled count, and then moving back above this low point here of this 0881 would invalidate the secondary count that we have here. So this is just key areas that if we do move back up into this zone would effectively invalidate this count that we're looking at. It is very difficult to count these micro subwave counts, so we just need to give it a little bit of area to sort of play and see how it reacts. If we do get this rejection, we break down, like I said, potentially this could be happening, but we'd want to see the confirmation by actually taking this low and actually looking to push down into this zone. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. We'll keep you up to date once we get a bit more information on the waves. I hope everyone has a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care out there.